This video is by request. Many of my subscribers want to know about my composting toilet. I'm going to show you my DIY. I had help from a friend, Dave. He designed the original composting toilet, and I had to redo it to make it more unique for a woman. So this is a woman's composting toilet. Here we go. Hello, friends. So, this is my composting toilet. My friend Dave in Phoenix originally designed this. He did a really good job of designing it, but there were a few issues for a woman. On the bottom, it had a drawer which would pull out to hold the compost. He had the little latch on the bottom to keep the drawer from sliding out when I traveled. But the drawer was about 4 inches tall. And really, what it did is it made the toilet too tall to sit on comfortably. My feet would not touch the ground. He put a handle on there so I could pull it around easily, slide back and forth where I needed it. He put a window in there so you can see how full your liquid bottle is. He did a really good job of the design. But it didn't work for me. I could not put my feet on the ground. You gotta be comfortable when you use the bathroom. Sorry, but it's true. So here we go. So like I said, he designed it very well. I store it under the bed in this little cubby between the drawers and the little shelving unit off to the side. So that works out really good. I have it on furniture slides to move. So this box is made with 3/4 inch plywood, and it has bear with me, I'm trying to hold the camera and do this. It has a hinged lid. You can see the hinges back here. So this is on a hinge right here. So I'm going to show you the inside first. So inside of this box has a 5-gallon bucket with a really good plastic bag. You can buy the deodorized bags, which are really nice. Let me pull it out a little bit further so I don't have to hold the lid. And in the front, what you can see, I hope you can see it, he built a little ring area about 1 inch high to hold the bottle, so the bottle will not slip around. Inside, he also coated it with a very good sealer on all where the wood is joined together, so that if you did have a leak, say the bottle overflowed, it would not get outside of the box. Easy to clean. Just pull everything out and wipe it down with a good vinegar water solution or a pine sol water solution. And that way it would be disinfected and the water, a liquid, would not be absorbed into the wood. So there's that. So what I have is a really cheap 1-gallon jug that was purchased at the dollar store or 99-cent store, I don't know. Has a pretty good wide mouth lid. Had a hole drilled in it with a hole saw on a drill. So big enough to have a pretty good size hole there. You can see that. Okay, so this bottle, whoops, fits right down in here. Whoops, I think I just enlarged that, sorry. Fits right in that slot, in between the ring. On the bucket has to be cut out. What had happened is You can see this here. On the bucket, the edge, let me close this down a little bit. Get back to the right size. You can see the rim has to be cut down a little bit. And the bucket will slide right up against that ring so it won't slip around. It doesn't go back very far. That's the biggest problem, is doesn't go back far enough. But really, you don't want a bigger box than this. So I can't remember what the measurements are, but you can measure a 5-gallon bucket and a 1-gallon jug. And then with that, you have to have, for a woman, a urine diverter. So men can pretty much pee in any kind of a jug, even a smaller lid. So it's easy for men, but with women, it's very hard. Women have to take their clothes off pretty much to go to the bathroom, no matter what. I've tried all those fancy little women urinal gadgets. I've tried 5 or 6 of them, spent money and threw them away. Because what happens is, first of all, you always have your hands in your crotch. Secondly, if it's not tight, it leaks. Third, you have to find a way to, when the pee comes out of those little female funnels, you have to have it at the right level to where you're going to have it pour into, unless you're outside somewhere. And I'm not going to strip down outside to pee. Sorry. So, I've tried actual urinals, but they're almost as complicated. So, for a woman, we have to have a urine diverter. This is what this is. That's not dirty, people. It's sediment on there and paint. So, so what I had to do is, when I revamped it, I had to move things. So what I did is I had to put a little wooden bar across the front. It loses a little bit of the space from the diverter. Right here, kind of wasted space right there. But actually, you can't go in back any further because the back of it had to be cut down a little bit. Otherwise, it would be too far in the bucket. When a woman sits on the toilet seat, you have to have a big enough hole so she can slide back to use the solid area and we still not mix the fluids. The thing is that you don't want to mix your fluids with your solids, okay? So if you do, you're going to have a smell, a very bad odor in your home. I have a little 6x10 truck. I don't have a big area. So I don't want those smells in my home. So anyhow, in the bucket, I have a good heavy-duty bag. You can actually layer several bags so that when you pull out one, you'll have another one already there. So the bucket, the urine diverter, and the water or your fluid jug, I guess you would call it. So when I revamped this, I had to cut the hole larger. I had a smaller round toilet seat, and the hole was too small to be able to get the urine diverter in there and the bucket. So, so I put a longer, elongated oval toilet seat on here. It's installed just like you would install a regular toilet in a home. I just had to drill holes for the bolts on the back of the toilet. So you see this lid is hinged, and that's pretty good. And this is much bigger. Still not ideal, but pretty good for a composting toilet, actually. I've seen some huge ones, and I couldn't carry a bigger one. I have to move that sometimes when I'm doing different things in the truck, so I don't want to have to lift a bigger composting toilet. So this is the outside of it. On the back, I had, like I said, I had the composting bin under the box. It was too tall. So then I tried to put it on the side. It was really made it too wide for my space. So it would bump into things or couldn't really fit in very many places in the truck. So ended up building this separate composting bin to put the compost in. I put a hinged lid on it. I have the furniture slides on the bottom of that as well as the box. At first, I had it back in the corner, and when I needed it, I would have to pull the whole box out. So now, what I did is I attached it to the whole toilet system, and then it just slides right out with the toilet. Okay, so inside this composting bin, it's pretty good size, holds quite a bit of compost. I just use a little garden spade to scoop out. Sometimes, yes, when I pull it out here, I miss a little bit and drop a little bit of compost, but compost is pretty clean and you don't have to worry about it too much. What I use is coconut coir. My friend Jan from Washington told me about the coconut coir about a year and a half to 2 years ago. I also, for a while, was using the pine compost, and that's fine, but it usually comes in great big bags. So what's nice about the coconut coir is it does an excellent job of preventing odors and covering up the uglies, but it also comes in a brick. And all you have to do is moisten it with a little bit of water and then break it up with your hands. Just dirt is really pretty much what it is, but made from coconut shells, I guess, all compressed in a brick. So that works really well. I know a lot of people use pine pellets or pine flakes, cat litter, and some people use peat moss, which I also tried. It was fine. It's just heavy. There's a lot of different options for compost. I have to be considering the weight first and then the space I have to use to store it. So I can put an extra block or so in the back of the truck. When I first bought it, after I bought the first one, I went on Amazon. I got a huge bag of coconut core bricks. It's lasted me like a year and a half or 2 years, but it took up a lot of space if you once you get it to open up. So really, it's better to buy one or two bricks at a time. Okay, so that's what I use for compost. This toilet is really easy to make. Really, all you have to have is 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch plywood and build it the size for your bucket, your urine bottle, and l- long enough this way to hold the urine diverter. So it's pretty easy, actually. You have to consider the space you have. How much width do you have? How you're going to get in and out. But use hinges, a standard toilet seat from Walmart, Home Depot, wherever you want to get it. Even a thrift store sometimes, but unless it was in a package, I wouldn't take somebody else's toilet seat. Okay, so what I use to clean it, I just use a vinegar water solution or some kind of a pine sol solution. So my final tips are you can always put one good scoop in the bottom of the bag before you use it. And as you use it each time you want to put a good scoop on top of the waste. The last thing I want to say is it's hard to find a urine diverter. You can use a funnel and cut it down or make it work somehow, But that's complicated. So the best thing is I looked all over Amazon, never found really one that would work without spending a lot of money. So I did find some on eBay. eBay ranges from 35 to 80, even more if you really want to spend a lot of money. But I did find one on eBay for 35 or 40 bucks, I can't remember. So urine diverter is the most important thing for a woman. Having a way to be able to go pee without going all through all the rigmarole or complications. So that's my tips and tricks for having a composting toilet for a woman. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I put out the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.